Heyo, and welcome to my channel. I am Crisscross Applesauce, and today in advanced glitch building, I'm going to be showing you how to build this. Isn't that an awesome little decoration for your house? You build this in your base, you're gonna be the talk of the town. You're gonna be the coolest kid on the block. To be able to build this, you're going to need extensive knowledge of wire mechanics in general, the wire glitch, the reverse wire glitch, and building with circles. If you are not familiar, let's say very familiar with all of these techniques, this is going to be very, very confusing for you. So before we get started explaining to you how you're going to do this, I'm going to explain to you what it is exactly we're going to be doing. That way, as I'm explaining it to you, it makes a little bit more sense. First thing we are going to be doing is building a 128-sided circle, like this. Next, we are going to rotate our center wire 90 degrees so that the top is pointing up and the entire wire is horizontal. Next, we are going to do the first of 128 series of glitches we are going to do, one at each iteration around our 128-sided circle. At each side of our 128-sided circle, we are going to be making an 8-sided circle. With each of these 8-sided circles, we are going to be blender glitching from 4 different positions. First, we are going to be pulling from the top and the bottom. We're going to be pulling and blender glitching into our center point. And then from this position here and its opposite. Once we have done that, we are going to delete everything. Then we are going to rotate our wire at our 128-sided circle to the next spot around the circumference. And we again are going to build a 128-sided circle, but instead of blender glitching and pulling from these positions, we will be blender glitching and pulling from these positions, rotating one position counterclockwise. Then again, we will rotate our center wire of our 128-sided circle to the next iteration. And then we will be pulling and blender glitching to the center from, again, one more space to the left counterclockwise from these positions here, like so, and so on and so forth. If that does not make sense, rewatch it, because I don't know how better to explain what we're going to be doing other than to just show you next. So, again, the first step we're going to be doing is making a 128-sided circle. If you do not know how to do this, I will be linking a video in the description of my tutorial showing you how to do so. That video will show you how to make circles all the way from 8 sides up to 256 sides. Once you have made your 128-sided circle, the next step, as I said, is going to be flipping and rotating this wire counterclockwise from this position and making it so the up is pointing up and the wire is horizontal again. First, we're going to be taking a small floor and wire glitching it in this position on the outside. Next, grab yourself a light floor and place it in this orientation so that the thick black line is all the way on the left side of the square. Once you have done this, you can delete your small floor and delete your center wire. Then grab yourself another small floor, reverse wire glitch from this position, pulling and connecting to the wire connection point on your light floor. Then building 2 more small floors to the left, we are going to be reverse wire glitching from the 3rd position, which will be at the very center of your 128-sided circle, pulling and connecting that wire to the connection point at the center of our middle small floor. Once you have done that, you can delete everything except for that wire that you just made. If done correctly, you should now have a wire in this orientation here, so that the up is pointing up. So, we are officially at our first iteration of 128, so I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing at each of the 128 points around our circle. First thing you are going to want to do is grab a wire on the opposite side of the center wire that you already have. We are going to need to blender glitch from this in a moment. So go ahead and wire glitch a large floor into your center and then reverse wire glitch from a position on the opposite side. You might have to do this you might have to build out and do this from 2 positions out, since you already have 2 floors in that position, and it can be very difficult to grab a floor there in the first place. Then you can delete everything. Now we are going to make a really quick 8-sided circle by building out 1 floor to the left and reverse wire glitching from the position above that, and blender glitching that floor into our center like so. Next, we are going to be grabbing our wires for our next 2 blender glitches. For these ones, we are not going to be reverse wire glitching from any position. We are simply going to go ahead and grab our cubes, go underneath your setup. We are going to be pulling from... Here, I'll go up above it to show you. We are going to be pulling from this location here and this location here. You need to do it from the underside so that it is level with the wire at your center point. So with your cube, toggle to your wire, get as close to the edge as you can on this corner, place one edge of your wire, and then blender glitch into the center. Congratulations, you have placed your first of 256 cubes. Next, go around to the opposite side and repeat the process. Getting as close to the corner as you can, placing your wire, and blender glitching a cube into your center. Once you have done that, you can go ahead and blender glitch 2 more into your center from your other 2 wires. And there we are. We have our first 4 cubes placed. Now, we only have to rotate our center wire clockwise 1 location around our circle and do this whole process again. So delete the outside wire, delete your 2 center floors, then reverse wire glitch from the next position around your circle. Pulling and connecting to the center wire. Then you can delete the previous iteration's wire. You don't need it anymore. Then, again, we are going to be building an 8-sided circle at the center of our circle. Since we pulled from this position and these positions before, now we are going to be rotating 1 position counterclockwise so that we are going to be pulling from this position as well as this position like previously. And we're going to be again pulling from both sides of these angles. To quickly grab the corner angles, grab yourself a small timber wall B, and adjacency glitch from this position here. And then you can reverse wire glitch from that corner and pull to your center. You can do the exact same thing on the opposite side. You pull another wire from that wire's opposite. Now, for the other ones, just like we did last time, we are going to need to go underneath, but since we are not going to be connecting and blender glitching from a reverse wire glitch, we can go ahead and grab our expanding cube, come down underneath, toggle to our wire, get as close to the corner as we can, pull the wire to our center, and blender glitch a cube into the center point. Then we can do that on the exact opposite side from that one. Again, toggling to the wire, placing it as close to the corner as possible, and then blender glitching into our center. Congratulations, you have now placed 8 of the 256 cubes you are going to place. With that done, we can delete everything. And then again, come to our center wire and rotate it to the next position. Like so. Once you've connected that to your center, you can delete the previous wire and again repeat the process. This time again, moving to the next locations around your 8-sided circle. This means we are going to be pulling from these corners here, and then we're going to be pulling from these corners here. I hope you understand this process. You're going to repeat this over and over again all the way around your 128-sided circle, making sure that you move only one side at a time. ensuring that the top of the circle also rotates with the wire. Once you have done the entire 256 sides, you will have a structure that looks like this. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to go ahead and finish this example up. Well, you should know that this example is all the same color, and I don't think it looks as cool as it does with all of the colors. So I'm just going to continue to blender glitch and leave the colors as they are as I go through this one. And I'll see you when it's done. Okay, and here we are. A day and a half later, and we are done. Now look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Hopefully you all can make it this far. And put this beauty somewhere in your base and impress all your friends. But this side looks really cool. At any rate, thank you for watching. Please hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already. I do come out with tutorials every so often. And share the video with people that you think might like some of my content or just this video in general. So I will see you in the next one.